we appreciate all of you being here today, and again, members of our council, thank you for being here. It's good to have you. Today is the opportunity that we have to introduce a couple important members of our leadership team moving forward. We have with us today Mr. Keith McFeeters, who is formerly the Deputy Chief of Farmington, New Mexico, who I would be announcing today as our new police chief. And to my left here, we've got Mr. Jason Spicer, who is a current battalion chief here with the fire department, and he will be serving as our interim fire chief throughout the period of time that we will be selecting a new fire chief. And so I want to tell you a little bit about each of these candidates. Mr. McFeeters has been in the Farmington Police Department for a period of more than 24 years, almost 25 years. He comes to us having served in a number of positions throughout the ranks, most recently as the Deputy Police Chief there in that community. Farmington is a lot like Casper in a lot of ways. It's an energy town. They've been going through economic downturns with their state as well, and they've been dealing with a lot of similar issues that we have here in the community, albeit as a larger agency than what we have here in Casper. Farmington is much more diverse than Casper.
Yes, it is.
But I think that prepares us well as it relates to dealing with the diverse populations in our community that are growing, and certainly with respect to a lot of the issues and so forth that comes from a growing community as well. So we're pleased to have Mr. McFeeters, and we look forward to his swearing in on December 11th, in which case all of you are invited back to participate in that regard, and we'll have the departments represented as well, and move forward in his new leadership opportunity with us. Mr. Spicer here is a longtime Casper resident. You're native too, right, aren't you?
Yeah, born and lived here since I was 7 years old.
That's right, yeah. A longtime employee of the department. Mr. Spicer is one who has risen quickly through the ranks of the fire department, and is currently, as I mentioned earlier, battalion chief for us. I really appreciate Mr. Spicer's willingness to step into this role as an interim chief. That's a tough position to take, and a tough position to fill. And it's one that is needed in our department, particularly as it relates to helping this transition for our department, and being a key member of our leadership team and navigating a lot of the difficulties that come from a leadership standpoint with respect to transitioning the department. And so we're grateful for his service, and we're grateful for his willingness to take on this difficult challenge and to complement the very able and capable division chief team that he will oversee. So thank you, Jason. Thank you, Keith. We're grateful to have you in our community. Mr. McFeeters is accompanied by his wife, who is here with us today as well. And we won't make you get on camera or anything, but thank you for being here too. We will probably swear Jason in on Monday with his showing up to work that day, if he decides to show up again on Monday morning. Anyway, I really appreciate these gentlemen. I think their values and their work ethic and the things that they bring to the table are very reflective of the values that this community holds as important, and I think they'll be a very good embodiment of what I have learned with regard to what the community has voiced as being important for the leadership of the police department and the leadership of the fire department. And so with that, we would be happy to entertain any questions that any of you might have of any of us, and we can certainly be available for individual interviews as well if that would be of interest to you. What questions would you have at this point then?
Mr. McFeeters, what are some of the things, some of the leadership stylistic elements that you noticed of the previous administration of Mr. Wetzel? What are some of those things that you think you'll be doing differently from him?
You know, it would be improper of me to talk too much about Mr. Wetzel's leadership, but I would tell you that I'm a firm believer in teamwork You know, we as a department, we're an organization and a family that needs to work together towards long-term goals where everybody knows those goals and everybody's working together as a team. So my management style is one that's based upon identifying those people in the organization that can help the organization identify and achieve goals and help us all get to that same goal. We're all on the same team. We want to improve the quality of life and reduce the cost of living in Casper and make it a safe community, as safe as can be.
Thank you.
Mr. McPeters, what are you looking forward to most in serving as our new chief in Casper?
I'm very proud to have been selected to be the chief of police for the Casper Police Department. It's a proud organization. It's a professional law enforcement agency. And I'm excited just to get to know the people, to fit in with the community and get to know the members of the community and the businesses and the schools and all aspects of the community. And I look forward to that challenge, is to just to get to know the people and become part of this community.
And really quickly, can you please spell out your last name?
M-C-P-H-E-E-T-E-R-S.
Thank you.
And Jolene has some news releases that all of you can have a copy of. I'm sorry I didn't get those out earlier. For any of the pertinent information that you may want to have for your pieces or whatever.
You have served as the deputy chief for a few years in Farmington, and you've served on their police for 25 years, am I correct?
Yeah, 24 and a half years.
24 and a half. How do you plan on using that experience from Farmington here in Casper?
Well, as Mr. Napier said, there are a lot of similarities between Farmington and Casper. There are a multitude of ways that I think our two communities are the same, and I'm going to be able to use those experiences that I've earned kind of through that School of Hard Knocks in New Mexico, going to help things here in Casper. Most of all, we've got a professional law enforcement agency. The men and women that work here are professional. They're outstanding in their profession, and so we're looking forward to just continuing to move forward with the good things we're already doing.
What are the winters like in Farmington?
Farmington is about the same altitude as here. We're up in the high desert, so it does get cold. It does blow a lot in Farmington. The snow doesn't stay as long in Farmington, but we're actually quite similar.
What kind of initial steps are you going to be taking, and how do you plan on making the transition?
You know, there are some things that are things that I'm going to be coming in and asking a little bit of questions about. You know, what got us here and what can we do to improve the situation that we're in right now, and so those are of high importance to me. But you know, probably the greatest priority is to get to know the men and women that work in the department, so that I can identify what are the ways that are important for us to move forward.
Other questions? Anything else?
Mr. Spicer, what are a couple of steps that you're going to be taking as you move into the role of interim chief? Any changes you're going to make, or what will your approach be personally?
No major changes. It's going to let our mission statement, core values, kind of guide us through this transitional period and get us, just continue what we're doing now, be able to respond, and then, really lean heavily on my division chiefs because they all run their divisions very well and are great leaders within the department. So we're just going to continue on that path and keep us going in the right direction.
Very good.
Mr. Spicer, are you a candidate for the permanent position or no?
I did put an application, but I don't believe
Okay.
at this time I'm not, no.
Okay, thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, thank you. We appreciate your being here. We certainly appreciate our employees being here, and we are grateful to entertain any other information or questions that you might have individually. So thank you, and have a great and safe weekend.